Welcome back to the second part of this amazing series, and if you haven't watched the part 1, then go and watch it first. So without wasting any more time, let's start the video. In the starting we see Prince, who is talking to an invisible girl. Prince says, "Mel, so you are here." Then invisible girl says, "Master, you're amazing. I kept my presence hidden, but you still sensed me. I delivered that message you asked for. But is it really going to help?" The prince replies, "I don't know." Then scene shift, we meet Alicia, who wants to go to the village of Luana. She has a map and remembers the king telling her that the village is very poor. There's hardly any food. Alicia thinks, these things are written in the book, but I'm a villain. I should see for myself if it's true. I doubt Dad will let me go, so I'll have to sneak in. At night, we see Alicia quietly entering the village through the forest. Suddenly, she hears a loud noise and gets scared, but she quickly tells herself, "I'm a villain. I won't be afraid of small sounds." She continues on thinking, there's a magical barrier around Leona village that keeps criminals out. But since I have magic, maybe I can get inside. Soon Alicia crosses the barrier and steps into the village. The stench hits her, and she sees how terrible the place looks. People are sleeping on the ground. Just then, she realizes someone is approaching, and fear grips her. "If they find out I'm a noble, they might kill me," she whispers. Suddenly a hand rests on her shoulder. Startled, Alicia draws her knife, ready to fight. But then she sees it's a blind man. He calmly says, "You don't need to be scared. It's better if you keep your sword sheathed. It will cause less trouble." Hearing this, Alicia puts her weapon away. The man then asks, "You came from outside, right? Why are you here?" Alicia replies, "I wanted to see the village's condition for myself. That's why I came." The man then says, "If that's the case, come with me." Alicia follows him to his home. Once there, he asks, "What do you want to know?" She asks, "Who are you?" He replies, "My name is Will. And you, young noble lady?" Alicia is shocked. "How did you know I'm a noble? You can't even see." Will explains, "Even though I'm blind, I can sense things. I noticed the way you walk and the scent you carry. It's different from the villagers. Since you managed to enter here, you must use magic, which means you're a noble. When I could see, I was surrounded by nobles, so I could sense your presence easily." Alicia asks, "Are you a noble too?" Will responds, "Yes, I used to work in a castle, but I tried to prove a high-ranking man wrong, and they punished me by taking my eyes and throwing me into this village." Alicia feels sorry for him. "That's terrible. What did you say?" Will says, "That's an old story. Let's focus on why we study history, to make our present better. It doesn't matter how much you learn from books, unless you use it for the future." Hearing this, Alicia is amazed. "Will, you're incredible. I can't believe someone like you was cast aside." Alicia asks, "Do you dislike nobles?" He replies, "Not really, but I believe there will come a day when someone understands what I've done." Then he says, "I've shared my story with you. Now tell me why you're here in this dangerous place." Alicia opens up about her dream of becoming a villain, and Will listens intently. As it's time for her to leave, Will warns her, "Don't come back. It's too dangerous here." Alicia insists, "No, I will come back." Will finally agrees, saying, "Okay, but come at night, not during the day." Alicia nods and heads home. In the next scene, a year has passed. Alicia shares that she's been reading books and training for the past 2 years. She has also been meeting Will regularly. The only change is that her brother Albert has turned 15 and started attending the Magic Academy. Alicia says, "I believe the prince and the heroine have met by now and fallen in love. I can't wait to show myself as a villainess." Just then, Eric and Henry arrive and ask, "Would you like to go to town?" She replies, "Yes." In the next scene, they arrive in a town. Alicia spots a shop that looks interesting, and Eric tells her that it's run by his friend. They go inside, where the shopkeeper asks, "Who is this girl with you?" Alicia introduces herself, saying, "I'm Alicia." The man replies, "Oh, you're Eric's little sister. My name is Paul. Thank you for visiting my shop. I sell various plants, mainly medicinal herbs, since my family specializes in green magic." Alicia asks, "Are you a noble?" Paul nods. "Yes, but a low-ranking one." He explains, "Plants are amazing. They can heal many ailments. I grew up in an environment where learning about them was easy, and I want to use this knowledge to help others. That's why I opened this shop. For example, look at this plant. Alicia recognizes it. That's Josiah. It helps reduce fever quickly. Paul is surprised. You know about this plant? Do you have an interest in botany? Alicia replies, it's just common knowledge, and adds with a smile, see, I look like a villainess now. Inside, she thinks, I can't tell them I've read a lot about this in books. Paul compliments her, saying she's quite smart. In the next scene, they return where Curtis tells Eric, you're lucky to be on a date with Alicia. Eric feels a pang of jealousy. Curtis then asks Alicia, do you want to go somewhere else or do something? She responds, I want to test my sword skills. I want to see how much I've improved, but my father and brother won't let me. Isn't that unfair? Her brother interjects, but you're only 10 and you're a girl. Alicia replies, when you were my age you already took tests. Why should there be different rules for girls? He insists. I said no. Frustrated, Alicia demands, if you keep saying no, at least give me a reason. Her brother gets angry, snapping, be quiet. He calms down and apologizes for yelling, then tries to pat her head to comfort her. But Alicia brushes his hand away, declaring, I'm going to take the test. She storms out, leaving everyone stunned. Proudly, Alicia steps outside, thinking, I acted like a true villainess. In the next scene, as Alicia walks away, she overhears her father and brother talking about needing to help her understand why they keep refusing her. She rushes back in, saying, tell me the reason. Stop treating me like a child. Her father replies, you're still a little girl. I'm your father, and I worry about you. I promise, when you turn 15 and go to the Magic Academy, I'll explain everything. Alicia agrees and leaves. Her father says, I know I'm just buying us some time, but the truth is, Alicia's sword skills are much better than those of normal kids. If she takes the test, she'll get a lot of attention, which could be both good and bad. Alicia's brother responds, yes, you're right, but the 5 great noble families have probably already noticed what Alicia can do. I don't think we can keep it hidden for long. Her father replies, I still want Alicia to live like a normal child. In the next scene, we see Alicia looking frustrated. They treat me like a little kid. I know I'm young, but I can't waste my time. I want to become the greatest villainess. She decides to talk to Grandpa Will. Maybe he can help her. Next, we find Alicia walking through the village saying, this is the first time I'm meeting them during the day. I wonder if Grandpa Will is home. As she arrives, she sees people fighting, and she thinks, so this is the real state of the village. I never noticed this at night. Suddenly, she spots some kids bullying another child and kicking him hard. He falls and starts bleeding, and Alicia panics. The bullies say, he's not moving. He might be dead. Alicia is terrified. Just then, Will arrives and asks, what are you doing here during the day? Alicia responds, I have to help that child. Will replies, what can you do? You're just a child. Alicia feels helpless. He's right. In the next scene, they bring the injured child to Will's house and bandage him up. Alicia asks, will he be okay? Will shakes his head. I don't think so. Alicia exclaims, that's awful. Will explains, this is common in the village. We don't have good medicine here. I gather all the children and teach them writing and arithmetic. This child's name is Jill. He's 6 years old. He may be young, but he's very smart. If he had proper education, I believe he could become an amazing person. But in this village, children, even if innocent, live like criminals. And that won't change. So you don't need to blame yourself. Alicia feels deeply sad as she reflects on her kind family and the wonderful environment she grew up in. It's so different from the harsh reality the village children face. Even after having such a good upbringing, I feel trapped at home. I want to help people, even if a villain wouldn't. I believe the heroine will save them, and it's painful to think I can't do anything. I can't keep making excuses about being young and powerless. In the next scene, she approaches Paul and asks, can you give me some Joshians? Paul asks if someone is sick, but Alicia struggles to explain why she needs it. He senses her hesitation, but doesn't press her further and hands her the flour. Mix it in water and give it to the injured person, he advises. Alicia thanks him and asks how much it costs. Paul smiles. Take it for free, but promise to visit my shop regularly. She happily agrees. She takes the flour to Will and prepares the medicine. Will examines the injured child and says, his wounds aren't healed yet, but this medicine will keep him alive. Thank you, Alicia. She replies, I feel so powerless. I thought I was doing everything to be a good villainess, but it's not enough. If I can't act in times of need, how can I call myself a villainess? Determined, she declares, "I'll study hard and work even harder to become a great villainess." Next, she searches for a hidden tome, thinking, "If I master magic, I can become a great villainess." Suddenly, a surge of dark magic spills out, revealing a hidden shelf. Alicia gasps. This shelf wasn't here before. She pulls out a book and is astonished to find it's about magic. The shelf holds many more magical books, and her heart fills with joy as she begins to read them. There are different levels of magic. The 5 great noble families require level 50 and above, with the highest level being 100. I remember in the game, the heroine and prince surpassed level 100. Maybe, as a villainess, I can reach her level too, but I need to work even harder. She decides to try level 1 magic, which is object floating. Concentrating, she brings her fingertip forward and activates the spell. To her amazement, a book begins to float. Excited, she cheers. But suddenly the book flies straight into her face. I need much more practice, she realizes, so she trains diligently. Days pass, and we see Alicia has improved significantly in her magic studies. Now she confidently moves the shelf around, feeling more empowered than ever. Alicia, feeling exhausted from her intense practice, realizes she needs rest. I haven't slept properly, and my head is pounding. Maybe I need more physical training. Just then, her father calls her, saying, "The king wants to meet you." Excited, Alicia thinks, "My trial as a villainess is about to begin." As the king arrives, Prince asks, "Why do you want to meet Alicia?" The king responds, "It's been a while, and I want to hear Alicia's story." The prince falls silent, sensing the underlying tension. When Alicia greets the king, she notices the heads of the 5 great noble families are present, leaving her in awe. "Am I becoming famous?" she wonders. The king asks, "Do you like this kingdom?" Confused, Alicia struggles to interpret the question. The king continues, "Tell me, is the kingdom being operated properly?" She remembers her village and boldly states, "I don't like the kingdom's system. Only nobles receive special treatment." Gasps fill the room. The king presses, "So you don't like it at all?" "Not at all," she replies. "Nobles are valued even when they don't deserve it. A talented commoner gets no opportunities. This system wastes so much talent, and it gives me a headache." One noble, infuriated, accuses her of insult, but the king silences him, urging Alicia to continue. She clarifies, "I'm not talking about all nobles, but becoming a noble shouldn't only depend on birthright. Political prowess and talent are different. It's unfair." Another noble scolds her to watch her words, while a third defends her, saying, "She's just a little girl." Internally, Alicia thinks, "What I said is true." Prince nudges the king, suggesting they ask about Justin. The king turns to Alicia. "I have one final question. Does what you said apply to you too, since you're a noble?" Alicia confidently replies, "Yes. I know I'm lucky to be born into a family that gives me opportunities, but commoners don't get that chance." The king smiles, impressed. "You're quite remarkable." As Alicia exits, feeling drained, she wonders if she answered correctly. Suddenly she feels dizzy and collapses. Prince rushes to catch her, checking her condition. Her brother arrives, worried, and offers to take her to her room. But Prince insists, "I'll take her." Her brother looks shocked. Later, Alicia regains consciousness, and Prince breathes a sigh of relief. "You're awake. Quickly, take your medicine." But Alicia hesitates, and Prince, in a casual yet surprising move, kisses her to get her to take it. "Guys, this isn't how you should do it in real life. Otherwise you might get in big trouble. So, don't try this anywhere."